I'm going to share with you guys the best Nikon Z8 and Z9 video settings you should know and change to get the best out of your camera. Check this out. What's up guys, Miriam here from Camera to Freedom. If you use your camera to take photos and videos and make YouTube content so that you can live a life of freedom, then hit that like and subscribe and let's go. I finally got the Nikon Z8. My wife gifted this to me. A supporting wife. I'm telling you, in life you cannot be successful if your wife isn't behind you 100%. And I'm so grateful that she's always supporting me. I have other Nikon cameras that is good enough for my wedding video business, wedding photo business, corporate video, and all that kind of different stuff. But this Z8, as much as I kept telling myself, I don't need this expensive camera because I already have a bunch of other cameras to use, even though this camera is absolutely amazing. I'm gonna share with you guys 10 things that you need to know and change as a videographer, so that way you could get the best out of your Z8 camera. So let's get straight into it. So the first thing that you need to do is change your audio setting. Right out of the box, this Nikon is set to automatic in your audio level. Now obviously if you're using like a wireless mic that I do most of my gigs, I have to set the audio manually. If your audio is set to automatic, then it's going to try to capture as much audio as it can when it's quiet, getting all that buzzing sound. And then finally, when you do talk, it's gonna calm down a bit to get your voice. So by having that off, you're telling the camera to just manually set it to a certain level, and it's not going to force it to try to record the ambient sound if it's quiet. In case you didn't know, and I'm sure you know, you got this little dial right here that's going to change it from photographer mode to video mode. I love this. My other cameras, Panasonic and Blackmagic and things like that, other brands, it doesn't have a switch like this. It's just, it kind of does both, photo and video, unless you're on cinema mode. But I love how it really separates the photo and the video. So now that dial is on video mode, that's when you could start messing around with your video setting. First thing you do is click on the I button, select the microphone sensitivity, and then change that to manual. Right now I have it at 15. You might have to change it later on depending on how strong your wireless mic is and how the ambient sounds. So just set it to manual and just leave it there for now until it's time for you to shoot. Second thing you need to do is turn on Attenuator. What it does is it limits your audio recording. Like your iPhone, if you were to go to a loud concert and you record a video, it's good at capping its audio recording, right? So it's not gonna be peaking, your audio isn't gonna be distorted. It knows how to lower itself automatically and capture audio. Some of my cameras have that ability too. It's got a limiter, they call it, and it prevents you from peaking when it's super loud all of a sudden, like at a concert or something like that, right? Now, Nikon has that as well. They call it Attenuator. It's not like magic like iPhone, right? If you go to a concert, it might still get distorted, but it actually does a decent job trying to bring it down so that your audio isn't peaking. It's not perfect, but it's amazing. So turn that on. Turn off auto ISO. Out of the box, your ISO is set to automatic, so no matter what setting, video setting that you're at, shutter, aperture, your ISO will always try to balance itself so that your video shot is always balanced. It does its own thing. Sometimes you might want your video to look a little bit darker, or maybe you just might want it even brighter in some cases. So by having the ISO turned off, you could manually then adjust your ISO. I know that's a very common thing, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys know about that. But in case you didn't, definitely go into the menu and turn off the shutter ISO automatic mode. Go into the menu, go into the video camera menu, then scroll down, go to ISO sensitivity setting. Auto ISO is turned off. Luckily, nowadays, the full frame mirrorless cameras out there, Nikon, including every other brand, it can shoot in high ISO, like 5,000, even 10,000 and above. Whereas before, after 800, forget about it, it gets super grainy. So I love the fact that our mirrorless cameras can now handle high ISO for brighter capture of video. Nikon Z8 has built-in log. They call it N Log, which captures the most dynamic range when you're shooting in log, but it does come out looking flat if you're not used to shooting in log. It creates the best video quality, but it is something you have to work with in post. You have to color it afterwards, right? But I'm gonna show you that a little later on. But first, in order to access your log, first go into your menu and then scroll down, and there's a video file type. It starts off at H.264. H.264 is an older codec that is great for everything. It's compatible to every kind of device, YouTube, online streaming, game, gadgets, anything. They are all compatible to H.264. That's a common video codec. Now, for our Nikon, you use that if you know you're only going to be shooting in HD, long videos, and that you're going to just straight up upload it to YouTube right afterwards. That is, of course, the lowest quality in your Nikon Z camera. Our Nikon Z camera is actually amazing because of the fact that it shoots in 8K RAW. It shoots in both N RAW, I'm guessing Nikon RAW, and also ProRes RAW. Not many cameras have the ability to shoot RAW, besides like my Red Komodo. Blackmagic has Blackmagic RAW, B-RAW. And that's because a long time ago, Red got a patent on the fact that they're the only cameras allowed to shoot in RAW. That's kind of suspicious, right? I mean, they were able to win the patent and it's not fair. It's like signing up and saying no other gears could shoot in JPEG because we're gonna take JPEG in our camera. That's kind of ridiculous, right? But anyways, regardless of the fact, the latest news was that Nikon battled Red so that they could shoot in RAW, and they won. And I'm guessing because of that, maybe in the future, a lot of the cameras will shoot RAW. So all this time I thought it was a technology problem, but I'm finding out that it's just because that Red is preventing other brands from shooting RAW. Nikon now has the ability to shoot 8K RAW. The only time I'm actually gonna use RAW is when I'm gonna be shooting short films or a very expensive music video, something that requires you to shoot in high quality, so that way you have the ability to make better post corrections. Because if you're spending millions of dollars on a set, your video better be high quality to make up for that millions of dollars spent. You don't want to be shooting H.264 with your phone if the set is $1 million set, right? Actors and so on. Anyways, Nikon gives you that ability. Go to the menu, scroll down to video file type, and then you move up and you have the ability to do H.265 8-bit, which is still great for me. You could do 10-bit, and 10-bit is when you could activate log. And then if you scroll up even more, you get the ProRes 422 high quality, ProRes RAW. Log is very easy to color correct. I'm gonna show you real quick. You just simply bring it into Premiere, you go to curve, you simply make an S, highlight goes up, shadow goes down, and that expands your color of your log, and then give it a full contrast. To me, that's a great starting point for you to start coloring it to your liking. It brings the life out of the log, and now you get to put a LUT on top of it. You get to put some saturations and just kind of play around and have fun and get a great color out of this Nikon. Or you could simply just download Nikon LUT that they provide for free. You add that LUT right onto your N Log, and instantly the color is super nice. Easy to do, don't be intimidated by using log, have fun with it, and you're gonna actually appreciate just how beautiful the skin tone is and just how the color just looks more vibrant, and it just has that more of a movie cinema feel to it. Definitely have fun with that. All right, just real quick guys, I do have t-shirts for sale I've made for photographers and videographers. I got the link below. It's a very nice material. It fits nicely. And if you do support me, I appreciate you so very much. I can keep doing this. I love sharing everything that I can about photography and video. And selling this t-shirt is one of the ways for me to just keep doing what I love. Thank you so much for your support. With your Nikon Z8, I highly recommend you turning on your focus peaking to help you shoot video. Go into the menu, select the pencil icon in the menu. And if you scroll down to A13 focus peaking, you could turn this on. I want you to add it to your eye menu as well too. So go into your menu, go into the pencil icon, scroll down, go to controls, customize the eye menu. When you do that, I'm gonna take out shoot menu bank. I don't use that too much, and then change that into focus peaking. So I'm going to scroll down and find focus peaking. There it is. And then that way you could instantly go in there, turn on focus peaking to make sure that your subject is in focus in case you want to use a cinema lens, or even just to make sure that the person that is doing the interview or the person that you want is in focus, just to make sure. You can't really tell, as great of a screen that our Z8 is, sometimes you just can't see if your subject is in focus. I usually have a big monitor for me to help with the focus, but it is so helpful to have focus peaking available so that way you are 100% sure that the person that you want to focus is in focus. So you could easily turn that on and off by having it in your eye menu. Protect your Nikon Z cameras. The Nikon Z8 and the Z9 has the ability, when you turn off your camera and change your lens, look, it's got a cover. It protects your sensor. Why can't all cameras have this? It's not the case. Most cameras don't have that ability. By default, it's turned off. To activate it, you have to go to the menu, go to the wrench icon, and then scroll down till you see sensor shield behavior at power off. Turn that on. It should be on by default. It's such a great feature because sometimes you're at a location where it's just really dusty. Our Nikon Z6, Z7, Mark 1 and 2, they don't have that ability, but check this out, there's a trick. When you try to change your lens, as you can see, the sensor is right there. And in the menu, there isn't a section where you could turn on that protection. But check out this cool trick. Now, I'm not recommending you to do this all the time because it's not meant to do it, since obviously it's a trick, but in a very dusty situation at a beach or somewhere very dusty, then you want to protect your sensor. So I'd rather take the chance, right? So how you do it? Camera's on, you're ready to change your lens. Simply just pull out your battery, and then as you can see, boom, the plastic shutter is on. Obviously, I don't want you to be touching that. It's just great because now it's protecting the sensor from the dust. And then put your lens on, put your battery back on, and then when you turn on your camera, it'll let you know that the shutter is closed and that you could press the shutter button to open it back up. Cool trick to protect your Nikon Z cameras. Your Nikon Z cameras have the ability to zoom in with a prime lens or give you an extra zoom for any of your lenses. Now check this out. Now by default, if you click on the FN2 button, then you're gonna see a choose image area scroll to the DX. Now you are shooting in DX mode and it will digitally, now not optically, it'll digitally zoom in even more. So I have like my prime lenses. I have a 35mm, for example, and it's kind of wide. And let's say that I wanted to shoot a little closer, but I don't have the room. Maybe I'm at a seminar because I can't step over any closer, or whatever the case might be. You could just simply select on the FN button and then change your image area into DX crop factor mode. So technically it's using your sensor and then it's using less of your sensor. So technically the quality is less, but you can't tell. I promise you, you can't tell. Our Nikon Z cameras have such high quality video that little simple digital change from FX to DX crop factor, you can't tell the difference. It's both very beautiful. You could use that to help your lens get that extra zoom that you need. Once you play around with it, you're gonna really appreciate that little trick. With your Nikon Z camera, I got the Z8 in my hand. I'm gonna share with you guys how to white color balance manually in case automatic isn't doing that good of a job, because it's not perfect. Sometimes things appear really yellow because the light bulb is warm, so it tries to compensate for that and it ends up looking kind of strange, right? Yes, you could change it to bulb or sun, but sometimes you want that perfect color. To set your white balance, you go into the I menu and then you go into your white balance and then you scroll right till you get to pre-1, and then you hold down the OK button for a couple of seconds. And then the trick is you need a white card or a white paper or a white shirt, white dress from your bride, anything white t-shirt, and then you just aim on the white and then you push the OK button, and now your white balance is perfectly set. Your white is pure white. And that's how you manually white balance with your Nikon camera. Let's talk about your Nikon in-body image stabilization, IBIS. There's a lot of settings from your Nikon. It's got one of the best image stabilization. It's getting to a point where one day you're not gonna need a gimbal for smooth shots. Already our iPhones do amazing job getting stable shots, just handheld, moving around, and one day our camera's gonna get there for sure. I used to love my lens that had VR built into it. We all did, right? Your lens had a image stabilization built right into the lens, making it a little bit more expensive. Now, when this new $2,500 lens came out from Nikon, 24-70 f2.8, including their 70-200, it didn't have VR built into it. And I thought to myself, that's kind of crazy. How am I gonna get a lens without no VR? I was totally wrong. Our Nikon Z camera has a built-in VR that works well with your Nikon Z cameras that doesn't have VR. Even other lenses that don't have VR built into it, the body itself does an amazing job. So you could actually go into the I menu, vibration reduction. That's where you could turn it on and off, and there's a sport mode in case you need to use your hand to just get a steady shot walking forward and so on. So that actually does a pretty decent job as well too. Now, once a lens like this is installed where it has a built-in VR, that is grayed out, and you will then use the lens to turn on VR or turn off VR. All right, guys, I hope you guys got something out of this. Hopefully I was able to share with something that you didn't know before. Please leave a comment. Anything will help. Just say what's up. That'll help out with the algorithm for sure. I need all the help I can get as I'm making this video for my family. And now that I'm getting older, I'm sharing everything that I know as much as I can. in hopes that you can get the same freedom. That's why I call it camera to freedom, so that you could use your camera to live a life of freedom by taking photos and videos and helping other people do their vlogs and reels, right? We live in a digital world, and if you're a photographer and videographer, you're totally relevant because you're helping everybody, be more present in the social media world and video world that we live in, as it's getting more and more popular, as scary as that is too, right? So thank you so much for watching it all the way through, and I will see you next time.